This is the GV Podcast, a variety review podcast featuring two of the three idiots giving their thoughts on cartoons and anime. This is an opinion-based podcast, and there's no way we're saying our thoughts and opinions are objective. Keep this in mind and enjoy the show.
What's your... Okay, restart that.
I haven't laughed.
He has an opening he likes to do, and he messes it up. Alright, my name's Mayhem.
I'm Jinsu.
Who are you people? I'm Duke. Oh, and I just had a fall. I had a stroke. 6 seconds! It took you 6 seconds to be a dumbass!
And today we're talking about the second half of Jojo Part 6.
Second and third.
8, 6, 7, 5, 365 days over 2.
It's literally all the rest of JoJo Stone Ocean. And... immediate. Just immediate.
I can't wait to hear that over again.
Immediate. You so quickly messed up.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I just completely started spazzing out.
Okay. Hey, it's fine.
Oh my god.
It's fine.
Okay. So JoJo Part 6, Part 2. Okay, I think I'm good now. I'm good. So last time, Jolene got her stand and was surviving the prison and was discovered that there's a evil stand user who uses the pale snake trying to get the bone of Dio for some special stuff that only Jotaro knew about.
Something about heaven.
About heaven.
And then she got stuffed in a rat suit.
That happened, yes.
Yeah.
And I hate
a lot
it.
of stuff happened. Listen, let's just get this out of the way right now. The entire first part of JoJo, awful.
And this is with every single part of JoJo. That it's like the first part, like it's in 3/3, but they're not the same amount of time.
Yeah.
It's like the first area.
They all have a level of horribleness.
Yeah, the first area introduces you to the JoJo and like what like everything that's happening and the setup.
It shocks you real quick.
And it goes like, oh hey, all right, okay.
And then shocks you.
And then the second third is the rest of it going, oh my god, what the hell is all this? And then the last third is literal literature. Literature. That's the word I was looking for. Literal
peak fiction.
Peak content that like
the new term
completely makes it all worth it. But when you're going through the second third, you're just like, I want to stop.
Essentially, you start with Greed Island, then you go into the Hunter's exam, and then you get Chimera Ant.
Yeah.
That's what happens every arc.
That's every
JoJo part.
Every JoJo, but they're always at different amounts of time.
Stone Ocean, as a non-spoiler that I will say right now, Jesus Christ, this is probably my third favorite arc.
This is number 3 for you?
This is number 3 because number 1 is... Number 1 and 2 are a hard battle between Part 2 and Part 5. Part 5 was insane because of the villain. And so it became one of my favorite parts. So much so that it almost beat Part 2 for me. And so they're still struggling. I'm still trying to figure out which one I like more. Because I love Joseph, I love the Pillarmen, but I love Giorno and I love Diavolo. Diavolo.
And you still do the same thing with his name.
You know what it is? I go, no, it's supposed to be this. And then I go, okay, Diavolo. And then I go, no, it's Diavolo. Okay, Diavolo.
Diavolo. Jinsu, where does Part 6 rate for you so far? Because you technically haven't finished it, but you know exactly what happens.
Dying.
Having to talk about JoJo again so soon?
It's
stand's popping out.
So my favorite is Part 5 and then Part 4. I haven't read Part 7 or 8, so I don't know anything about those parts.
You know some stuff I've heard.
Oh god. That's worrying for me.
Diego dies! Anyways.
I'll forget. But then I'm gonna remember the next time I edit this.
But then you remember when you hear his name and you'll be like, God damn.
Dora's cousin!
I just start yelling at him to go! Go! Go!
Go, Diego, go!
Go! Live!
Breathe.
I would say part 6 is probably my fifth favorite.
Fourth or fifth? Interesting.
Okay.
Because I really like part 5. I really like part 4. Part 3 is pretty hilarious. Part 2 is really, really good. Part 1's okay.
Part 1 exists.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for you, it's a bit more of like a mixed bag, considering you're a way bigger fan of a lot of Jojo than us. Like, part 4, you're a big fan of that. I cannot stand that villain. I hate it every time he was on screen. That's the thing. The difference between part 4 and part 5 for me was part 4 had a villain where every time he showed up, I hated the season. Part 5, every time the villain showed up, I loved the season. Like, every time he popped up, it made the season better. Whereas Yoshikage Kira, every time he popped up, I was just more mad.
I like Kira because he was so what's the word?
Fucked up.
Despicable.
Not despicable, like
Disgusting.
Dysfunctional.
What is the word?
Discombobulated.
Use the word, but not using the word.
Beyblade.
What?
His head was a Beyblade.
It's not disorientating. It's just uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable whenever
would be a fitting word, honestly.
Whatever he does, whenever he's on screen, he knows how to make the audience feel really uncomfortable. So that's why I liked him, because he was such a imposing threat, and he was like I didn't know if he would win or not, and he had tense moments of his own, because he very much could have been his own protagonist, and he kind of was. He really didn't. If anything, he was the protagonist of his own story, and Josuke and them were just his antagonists, because he wasn't moving against them; they were moving against him.
Which is a similar thing that shows up with the villain, with Father Pucci in this part. A very similar thing.
No, Pucci is definitely working like behind the scenes and is setting stuff up. But yeah.
You know what? You saying that, I do give my respect to Yoshikage Kira, considering he's the most unique villain we have. He's not really the primary focus for the first part of it. Like, for the first part of part 4, he's not existing at all, honestly, when you look at it, because he was just a killer. That's all it was. And when it came to the main threat, we all thought the main threat was the stand arrow.
Was just the arrow by itself, yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we get this realization of this town has been haunted for years.
And then
by a full-on murderer.
And then bringing it back to part 6, we have just completely steamroll what you were saying.
Now we're in Florida.
Now we're in Florida.
In Florida, I gotta say, very fitting that the most batshit season would be in Florida.
But this part definitely ranks it ranks pretty high. It's on the better half of JoJo seasons for me. Like, part 2 is my all-time favorite, and then part 3, and then I think it actually might be a close race between 5 and 6 right here.
Okay.
I think that's where it is. That's where they are for me right here.
Yeah. Part 3, honestly, I always have a mixed bag when it comes to part 3, because of the fact that, like, that first one is a bit of a slog, but the moment that the second half starts, it's so much fun.
Yes.
Like, that was my thought going into it when I first watched JoJo, that I watched part 3, had so much problem with the first part of part 3, and then got to the second half of part 3 and was just like, yes, let's go.
I actually heard that somebody legitimately was like, the JoJo is the first anime I recommend people who don't know anime, because if they're able to watch this, then it doesn't matter what else I recommend to them.
Monster.
It's like that's
demon incarnate.
That's a huge hurdle to get people over.
Honestly, the people that say that are worse than the people that recommend Boku no Pico.
Boku no Pico?
It's the joke of
Boku no
anime.
Boku no Kill.
That's usually the answer you get when it's like, oh, what anime should I watch next? This. And it's like, Boku no fuck yourself.
No, it's pronounced My Hero Academia.
I hate to ask, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
But I'm going to feign ignorance just so I can not have to worry about it.
But yeah, no, that like I will say that to the people that recommend JoJo as the first anime to a person, you're worse than those people.
Because there's so much too. But
No, if you could watch the first part and be fine, it feels like a separate enough story, but you're still a monster.
So Jinzu's going to describe to us exactly every episode leading up to where he is.
Yeah, Jinzu has missed a few episodes, but honestly not far enough that we had to wait.
I haven't watched a single episode of Part 6 and only read the manga.
There you go.
Awesome.
Up to episode 14.
So the place where we left off
we're on
of...
episode 14. Or, I think 14, yeah. 13.
Or was it 15? Because I remember the security guard.
So
no, what I'm saying is, like, where we left off was specifically, basically, last time we were here, it rained frogs. It rained frogs, and then there was Dio Bone.
And then it sets up that there's something about Dio's bone that Father Pucci was going after.
Yeah.
A very specific, convoluted thing that he needed to know.
The last Metroid is in captivity.
God damn it.
The galaxy is safe. Is at peace. That's the word I was looking for.
Is that safe?
Is that safe?
Your world are belong to us.
So Jinsu, you ready for not being prepared to actually talk about this, but then given the words to be prepared for this, but obviously that's more than not necessarily enough to be prepared for it?
Just speak. God damn it. No, I blame you on that one.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace. Mario 64 is the first 3D part.
He's playing all the cards that he has.
And then he slayed the Jabberwocky.
Then slayed the Jabberwocky. Moves in my mouth.
Super Mario 64. You don't have
just
quirks.
Jinzu,
You're just insane.
It's just Jinzu going boobs in my mouth and just, Jolene, get out of here.
Back, Jolene!
Back, Jolene. We're talking about JoJo. We're talking about men.
Why are you Sean Connery all of a sudden?
Because when I make a gay JoJo joke, it immediately goes to British.
Do you know what repetition is?
Yeah.
It's an unnecessary repetition of words.
JoJo joke?
No, just say gay JoJo. You were literally just saying the same thing twice.
Oh, got it. Homoerotic.
There you go.
More erotic JoJo.
I think I said that like way back in like part 1. That like, how would you describe JoJo? Homoerotic.
And here we are in part 6. You bringing it back.
Yeah. How to finish the series.
Jinsu, you seem to be spinning out of control.
Just the phone. Because the phone case has a thing that lets me spin it.
Did you have a fidget spinner?
No.
You didn't take a piss. You went out and smoked.
Little did you know that we could get much higher.
Sports Maximum. Tell us about Sports Maximum.
Isn't that the one where he makes everyone angry?
No, that's a Survivor.
No, that's just Mario Party.
Sports Max. That was the one with the ghost.
Oh!
Yeah. Did you forget about Ghost? Ghost alligator?
Yes.
Ghost blood gator?
It sounds like the pipes flushing, but no, it's actually a gator sound.
You know what? I'm basically going to help to describe this season to you of... remember, there was Sports Max, who was the one who killed Irma's sister.
And is the whole reason why Aramis is in
jail.
prison in the first place.
And his power that he awoken is to basically make ghosts. And so Pucci tried to come up to him like, hey, can you turn my Dio into ghost boyfriend? And he was like, no, I can't do that. And he was like, you bitch then. Go kill Hermes.
Hermes.
Aramis.
Oh. Hermes. Okay.
You say Hermes.
Aramis.
And so there was that fight, and it wasn't much, and so we skip it because there wasn't much to it other than it's the awakening of Aramis' power, which was stickers that she can use to double things.
It was her drive and dedication to give her the strength.
That wasn't even her awakening of that. It was just filler.
It was another good spot that could have done it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jinsu, why are you on You're very far away now.
He's reading the plot now.
Sky Guy, that's not Bohemian Rhapsody.
No, the next one's Bohemian Rhapsody.
It literally just Bohemia, yeah.
That's funny.
What do they call it again? Bohemian what was it?
Oh no.
Let me check. I'm curious.
Jinzu. We're talking about Jojo.
Oh, sorry. It was the one before it. It was Bohemian Ecstatic.
Ecstatic.
Wow.
Anyway.
What does Rhapsody mean? Isn't it just song thing?
It's like ballad.
Yeah.
Like, something like that.
Symphony.
So we get Smack of
Symphony
Love
is a
and
type
Revenge.
of band.
After that,
Your ass.
Is a type of band. Thank you. My
After
my
that-
farts are very musical.
so Jolene gets sent to solitary confinement.
Because she's been prisoned.
Yeah. You know, go figure.
Oh no, it's not a music thing.
And so
What does it mean?
An effusively enthusiastic or ecstatic expression of feeling.
Oh.
So what ends up happening is she goes to solitary confinement, and FF needs to get backup in order to go save her. And so who does she go to? Anastasia. You know, the Russian princess.
Anasui.
Anasui.
Chop Suey. The piano song.
Makeup. It's a chop suey.
And so what ends up happening
I'm
is
thinking of
she,
chopsticks.
the Russian princess Anastasia says, "I'll help you out, but in order for you to for me to help you out, you gotta get me laid. You hear me?"
And
Yeah,
FF
with-
is just like, I will totally fulfill this
With
promise.
Jolene.
I will totally fulfill this promise. I swear unto you, I definitely will.
The green-haired bitch, will let you, the purple-haired asshole, sleep with Jolene, the pink, yellow, and green-haired chick.
But only after marriage.
And then we get one of my favorite stands as while Jolene is in solitary confinement, the stand that they bring in literally just makes people angry. That's all it does.
It puts if there's water on the ground, it's able to slightly electrocute your brain in a way that's able to allow more anger chemicals to be produced in your brain.
The way I felt it was like they added to this scene, and I felt they shouldn't have, because I felt they could have just kept it at what it was, of
Bullshit.
just leave it as normal guys just going at it. Because remember, it was...
You need to elaborate that.
Yeah, it is JoJo, so I kind of gotta elaborate.
You need to never say that again.
Okay, two guys, hand to hand, meat smacking meat.
You just described part 1 of JoJo.
Okay, two men kissing.
Wait a second.
It's part 6.
Wait a minute.
2 girls.
One cup.
No! Why would you
Part
say
6.
that?
The part where you think the girls are lesbian, but the guys are just still gay.
In other words, you're still allowed to like men. Don't worry, even the women are allowed to like men.
Only a Rocky.
Everyone only likes men in the JoJo world,
So,
but still end up having children.
two security guards that were trying to get Jolene out of her room, essentially, they start fighting because the way the stand works is it's to get you so angry that you start fighting. And it just starts going off.
They start like beating each other so hard that like their faces get messed
I
up.
loved it. It was so brutal.
I just like the record to show that right here, right now, that Duke likes seeing two men going at it.
Yes, I do.
Duke enjoys watching 2 men
Going at it. And
kissing.
in Jinsu, here we are, 2 men.
Have you seen that? Oh, no.
Are you ready to fight?
I do want to fight.
No,
Wait a second. Is that what happened at the Red Fair? He was getting his rocks out the whole time.
Holy shit, man.
That's why he was filming us.
But I was gonna say, do you remember that clip of like the Kirby game where like Kirby runs over to one of his allies and it just quickly zooms in?
No?
You don't remember that?
What are you talking
One
about?
of us sent it. It was a video where it was like all the different Kirby allies, and Kirby runs over like apparently for some kind of assist with his friend, and it just zooms in and it's a kiss, and it's like a frame
Okay,
as it goes away.
So you're thinking of the game where you
Oh, I
guys
know
share
what you're
powers, and you can only share it if you guys like like touch each other together.
No, he's talking about Kirby Superstar.
Superstar, yeah.
And if you pick up a healing item and you immediately walk up to your ally, you heal them by.
And then like they both like turn like towards each other in a very specific way that it's can
Someone
only
made
be
an
described as a
edit of
kiss.
it though.
Yeah.
Someone made an edit of it where it's literally just the. So anyway, the two guards fight, and it is my favorite scene for the fact that it is just so damn brutal, and it's not stands fighting stands. It's just two normal people
Kissing.
just beating the shit out of each other. Man, we had to finish off Jojo in the most homo fashion possible.
Man, you really like finishing off men, don't you? Because this is the beginning of the
end.
of the end, and also the basically the solitary confinement battle royale. Because everybody in solitary confinement gets let out, and they all get affected by the stand. And a lot of them have their own stands as well.
Only like two of them, I'll say that.
That's like everybody.
Yeah, fair enough. No, because everybody else dies.
Everybody else dies.
But
yeah.
meanwhile, you got the security guard who comes up to Jolene and is just like, okay, I'm ready to go at it. Let's keep going. Come on.
Let's have fisticuffs.
It's not as fun with women, but let's go.
Okay.
Oh, you are the one who continued the joke way too long.
I'm the one who made it about gay people. You're the one who brought in women.
But anyway, it does lead to one of my favorite jokes of just because this is the arc where finally, because it's on Netflix, they allowed the voice actors to actually curse more.
To actually swear, yeah.
So Jolene just starts going like, "This is the American way. This is this way. This is," and then like, "This is the Japanese way
Of what?
of saying fuck you."
of flipping you off.
All gestures to mean fuck you.
The amount of
And it was
times in
so
this part,
funny.
in this part, the amount of times that characters just go, "What the fuck?"
And like I said, it's the one part where it makes sense for them to say that, because it's like, things are so batshit, of course they're gonna say that.
Jinzu, are you having fun
But-
down there?
Yeah.
Good.
Anyway, we fight with the security guard. It's all epic, and the only part that I was sad about was when it was revealed that he also had a stand, which made it so that he could shoot meteorites from space at you.
What?
Yeah, it was that
Fujitora.
literally meteors.
know him yet.
Madara.
Meteors flying down from space to
Neil deGrasse
specifically
Tyson. No, he doesn't know him.
to hit Jolene at such a specific angle that she can't finish off and kill the guy.
And so eventually she does kill the guy by just, having her shoe be up or something like that. Get the shoe lit on fire, and then it fires off at him and clocks him in the face and kills him.
You said that the meteors fully avoid you, but what if the meteor already considers itself to have contacted with its target? That means that its momentum won't change, and therefore you'll get hit.
Turn around. Turn around every now and then. Anyway.
I get a very little bit hungry.
So her next opponent, an old man, a Yoda-like character, walks up. He's drowned everybody else. Piss therapy.
Moving on.
He drowns you.
Because he works with the powers of feng shui and summons Shenron to help him.
I like the description they use for him, by the way, of it's not like he was given the arrow and given a power. He was just so good at feng shui that he developed a power.
Yeah, he just got the stand naturally, yeah.
Also, I love the dragon that he uses because he's so chill and it's just like, I'm not really in it for anybody in particular.
The powers
I'm
of
just kinda-
feng shui
are neutral.
are neutral in this sort of predicament.
I am chaotic evil. I am neutral at best.
I am neutral. And
I don't care.
I'm neutral.
I have
Neutral
no
evil at worst.
I have no stakes in this whatsoever.
I am neutral evil at worst, neutral good at best. And it's so funny.
Jinsu, how have we not noticed it before? But that is literally just Jinsu's existence. Just, I don't care.
I am here. You just walk up. Listen, you're gonna want to go that way, because if you go that way, you're gonna get a rod stuck up your ass.
I know this.
I know this. I can see the future.
I know
I know
this. I watched JoJo.
Listen, do not turn your ass in this direction. This is your unlucky direction. And you see a sword pointed right at your asshole.
Get you.
This is the ass direction.
That's literally just every time you
Oh,
play
is it
Dark
like it's
Souls.
a really bad direction? No, as in it will fly up your ass. If you turn exactly at it, understand, a fly will fly over for 5 seconds, breathe on it, and it will shoot up your ass.
It'll fly out at 70 miles per
Only
hour.
on Tuesdays.
But only on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Because it was very much like a Looney Tunes fight, where it's just like all of a sudden
Looney Tunes?
you just see this setup where like the FF tries to go after the old man, and then all of a sudden somewhere else you just see a bunch of stuff falling, the water sparks
It was
something.
a Coyote cartoon.
It was, yeah, just things just going all over the place, and then all of a sudden a bolt being shot out from a water heater, and it just piercing FF's hand, and she goes, "Fuck!"
I was laughing so hard when it was oh, look, your unlucky direction, it's that way. And it points up and you see the fan, and it's like, oh, the fan is gonna drop and kill me. No, actually, the bolt is gonna fly off and then shoot you in the back of the brain.
The bolt of the fan is actually going to cause the downfall of the Nigerian government,
What?
which will affect the global warming climate.
That
just
butterfly is my bad direction? No, you see, on September 11th,
Oh, fuck.
I wasn't going that far, but okay.
2001,
This might affect the group chat.
this could...
You might have to move this to #vent.
You must ask, though, how will this affect the salmon population?
8 billion crabs. I counted each one.
That's what this power is. It's just bullshit.
It's
I
the-
love it. It's so silly.
It's not bullshit. It's feng shui.
It's feng shui's bullshit.
Jinsu.
Is that offensive to say? I don't care. It's bullshit.
Jinsu.
Did we ask?
Did I?
Yes, you did, actually. You forgot.
Jinsu. You gotta stop talking so much.
So anyway, he turns into springs after FF gets electrocuted.
His legs suddenly become. This is how they are able to defeat him. Is that his legs bones start shifting around into springs, and he just starts bouncing around.
Yeah,
Like
it's
liter-
so
like,
brutal.
like Elmer Fudd.
And so then we've got, as they're basically preparing to leave this area.
We killed everyone.
Well, we handled it, right? And so they start walking off, and Anastasia walks over and bumps a guy who was trying to escape. It turns out that was Survivor, who was the one that was making everybody angry. And so that guy's walking away, and they've got another villain that's in the background, just like, okay, I'm ready to kill these guys. Oh, hey, fuck out of here, the Survivor. And as Survivor's walking away, his rib cage then skewers out and stabs and rips off Survivor's arm.
Yeah, it just goes off crazy.
And it's like, why? And so that happens, removes his arm, and Survivor goes away. As they're going away, suddenly there's a new friend. Oh, we almost forgot about this, by the way. So plants.
Yeah, plants just started showing up out of nowhere, and also on Jolene.
What?
Yeah, so plants start growing out of a bunch of prisoners. And in the center, there is some kind of capsule holding a green baby.
Green demon-looking baby.
And the baby has a star.
Has a Jojo family star. Birthmark star.
It has a Joe star. And so...
Yeah.
And so because of that, they're like, what the actual hell? And they try to leave. They're holding the capsule of like, okay, we'll make sure to keep this safe. And as they're leaving, they are joined by a stand by the name of Yaya Ma.
Which had like a funny moment every now and then.
It was literally one of the funniest stands, but then was also one of the most uncomfortable stands.
Did you guys get the musical reference with that one?
No.
You guys don't get Yaya Ma?
YMCA? Young man!
Tell me.
You guys don't know Yo-Yo Ma?
I'm scared now.
You're...
I don't know what references
your
you're trying to
mom.
make.
No, you see that cat video? It's like when I go yell at my cat, say something he doesn't have. Your mom.
Your mom!
The cat's face. But
He's a cellist.
Okay.
I don't like the way that you're laughing about it.
Anyway, what ends up happening is, as they're running off with Yaya Ma, it's like this whole thing of like, oh, we'll be fine. It looks like he's an idiot who just follows Anastasia's orders. That seems fine.
And
Meanwhile,
then also-
FF's jaw has been ripped from her mouth,
from
her face. Holy shit! And she's just like, guys, you're gonna want to make sure you don't turn around. And so,
turn around.
here's the danger of I'm gonna ignore everything that happens with Yaya Ma because it's funny for a few points. Everything else is uncomfortable, including
funny?
him wanting to. I'm not kidding. This is the part that I made you skip. Fuck a frog.
Turn the fucking frogs gate.
It's JoJo characters. Imagine if they literally just made a part of JoJo that was just all frogs.
I made this joke to Mayhem earlier. Good lord, man.
Yeah. So what was it?
Anyway, so I made a joke to Mayhem towards the beginning where I said to him after Anastasia popped out and the way he was posing, I said that is the straightest man in all of JoJo.
Straightest man in JoJo. The only way it could happen.
And so
It was a give and take.
but anyway,
Law of equivalent exchange.
it's very aggressive.
It's
So-
very strict.
What ends up happening is FF goes off to deal with the stand user of Yayama, who is the guy who got his arm ripped off. And as she's going off to deal with him, she notices that the priest has shown up, and she just kind of bats it away of like, that doesn't matter. And so she gets ready to
I
do
don't
her
believe
thing.
in you. Go away.
Meanwhile, we've got Poochie, who's over in the corner just like, ooh, I'm so close to winning. Okay. Presses on the guy whose rib cage exploded out earlier. Presses on his head. Okay, I'm just gonna be so excited. Here, let me play my disc real quick. Da 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 da.
He starts playing full-on classical music because of how
It's Yo-Yo Ma.
dun 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 dun.
Skylo Man. Skylo Man.
Dun, dun.
That's, by the way, that's what you sound like right now. Just like that, like Russian Badger video. Like, it's Skylo Man.
Skylo Man.
Anyway, FF, she goes
No,
off to try
no.
to kill. She goes off to try to kill the guy, and meanwhile, you've got Poochie, who's like, I gotta read his memories, then I can win. And he's running off, and he sees FF try to kill him, and he's like, oh hell no, and rushes over and pulls some bullshit to try to stop her, and she's like, White Snake Pale Snake is nearby. I was about to say the right thing. Sorry. And so
About to say what the author wanted the name to be.
and so she turns around and she turned around and she saw Poochie walking nearby, and was like, "No way, you're the Pale Snake." Actually, I'm a bit more of a darker skin, Italian. She's like, "No, you're Pale Snake." And so
Yeah, that's kind of messed up. Don't you think that you should probably, I don't know, do
no,
some
that's my
sensitivity?
stand. No, that's my stand.
Call me Father Poochie. Ah, Jesus!
You're a Pale Snake. No, I'm a dark Italian. That's Pale Snake.
Hola!
And so
Buenos dias, fuckboy!
So what ends up happening is they start fighting, and Holy shit, you almost dropped a light. Let me see. Oh, yeah, no, I can understand why he'd be happy about that.
Married.
So anyway, what ends up happening is FF starts getting super messed up by Pale Snake. There's no chance she has to win, so her only chance would be to run off and try to help out Jolene and Anastasia as they're dealing with the green baby.
The dealing with the green baby, yes, because...
Real quick, how do they cut to the green baby is the funniest part, I gotta say, which is FF going off like, I'll make it. Look, I got water on me so that I can make it. And Poochie putting a disc in her that makes it so that water is boiling, and so she basically, it looks like she dies. She evaporates fully. And like she screams out, "Jolene!" Gone. Like she literally viscerally screams out Jolene.
It's very intense.
And then it just cuts to, oh man, it looks like that stand from earlier is dead. Well, that's good. Oh look, the green baby. Let's go get it. It's literally just this cartoony ass fight where they're every time they walk closer to the baby, they shrink.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the power of the baby, where it's just, if you get closer to it, you're gonna shrink, but if the baby touch you, you'll go back to normal size.
And so guess what happens? The baby touch them and they go back to normal size.
And that's how we skip past that part.
The baby go, star, to Jolene.
Star!
Star!
What is this, Resident Evil 3? Stars.
Starts tapping on her shoulder, just star.
What are we playing through all this?
Star!
Nemesis was our homie.
Star!
He was our homie. They turned our homie against us.
Yeah. When are we playing through all the Resident Evil games?
Who's playing through?
You know what? This review is what happens when JoJo fans have gone so off the deep end that they're dying.
Jinzu, you're making too much noise.
Bong.
Bonk.
Bonkai.
Bonk.
Bonkai.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself too. I'm glad you could find some enjoyment. Because I know that you hate talking about JoJo.
I know you don't like JoJo.
Bong.
Anyway,
I haven't
Green
caught up
Baby.
with part 6. I haven't seen anything of it in so long.
Green Baby.
Green baby? There's a green one?
Yeah. And it's absolutely terrifying. And you know what I would have done if I would have saw this baby?
I would have twisted
man.
his head like a bottle cap.
Even though it's green.
So what ends up happening?
Am I green villains?
Oh.
Title drop!
It's
I
the
hate
baby
you.
Metroid.
Yeah. Do you kill the child?
The last Metroid has been...
The galaxy is at peace.
So...
Ridley's here.
Weather forecast ends up helping her out because like she's dying, and so puts down some fog and some rain to heal her as she gets back up and starts running off. One thing I thought was cool was the way they showed off FF in this moment, because she was the stand.
Oh yeah, because she
left her body
her body was completely gone.
dead.
So what she had to do in order to have a form was do a combination of what the plankton looked like altogether, like what that looks like, and then also like a halfway point between. It was like with the whenever Chopper has the devil fruit and when he's in the hybrid form, it was like that.
But he's always in his hybrid form.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
So it was like she was in the hybrid form of that. So she looked like normal, but then also her stand form.
I like how the other cool thing about it was the fact that when it came to the look of FF in this form, how when it came to that whole face thing, I like the fact that it's more like she's so used to that body that it's just a part of her now.
Like she's
even though that's
slowly
a body that she just randomly chose.
Yeah.
Because some girl totally got blown the fuck up.
By
Yeah.
FF.
And so she runs off to
I
Anastasia.
killed you, so that means I get to use your
Green
face.
Baby, Jolene, and alongside weather forecast, and she's like, "Hey guys, we're here. We can help you out. You won't believe it. Pale Snake is Father Pucci." And
That's crazy.
that's crazy.
Wow.
And so
asking.
you mean the father?
Do I remember asking?
You mean the priest that I encountered right before getting messed up and shot? No way. And
Who'da thought?
Who'da dunk?
but as they're talking, it's like, okay, now should we kill the green baby? It's like, no, we shouldn't kill the green baby. That'd be messed up. And it's like, okay, fine. What do you guys think? Weather forecast, what do you think? I think you're a bitch-ass motherfucker. You pissed on my wife, as he punches him through the chest.
Through the chest.
And
He got
stabs...
donuted?
Yeah, he donuts Anastasia.
On a sweet.
Anasui.
And sweet.
Sweet.
On a sweet!
So, punches him through the chest, donuts him, and then reveals that weather forecast is actually Pale Snake in disguise.
In disguise.
And so,
Robots in this guy.
no. As that happens,
More than meets the sky.
he also goes ahead and basically
Mario meets a guy.
tries to basically kills FF in that moment of like just about kills.
Yeah.
And so Pale Snake and Jolene have a fight, and it seems really cool as like she makes handcuffs on them of like, I'm gonna beat your ass, and he's about to lose until he goes, hey, look, your father's disc, I'm throwing it in your future husband. Then my future what now? And so she runs off and decides to grab the disc and try to heal Anasui, as Father Pucci begins to walk towards the green baby, uttering some words to him.
He just starts like saying these random words, and then like when you try and give a dog a treat, he holds out Dio's bone.
You want the bone?
You
want the bone? You want the bone? And then the baby goes, I want it. You want the bone? I want it. You want the bone?
I want it!
I want that bone! And eats Father Pucci.
Fully consumes him, and Father Pucci gets pulled into the tall grass, and it's very funny.
We see a bit later that Father Pucci has basically been reborn when it comes down to it.
He's been fused with the green baby.
Fused with the green baby.
Has a new style.
He has a new extra... Okay, just real fast with Father Pucci. That design on his face, would you consider that, since it's the same color as his hair, would you consider that all
Tattoo.
eyebrows?
Tattoo. I'm going to say tattoo because I want to feel better.
So you know how there's sideburns?
Yeah.
Front burns.
Yes!
Okay, there. You know what? Now that you've said that, I feel better.
Now they're eyebrows.
Front burns.
Front burns.
Just the way it like crosses around his face.
And it's asymmetric too, so it's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
And so he decides to leave the prison and begin heading to coordinates that were given to him by Dio.
Everything that he's doing is just because Dio said, "Hey, trust me."
Literally, that's what it is. He literally even says it is all built on the trust that Dio has put in him.
Yep.
And then when he does it, he goes, "Oh, hey, he was right."
Oh, yeah, right.
That's convenient.
And like he even describes that whole thing with the plants was basically sacrificing a bunch of sinners so that they would grow a pure being.
A being of pure evil.
That
was literally what they said. Pure evil.
Yeah, pure. That's what I'm saying. A pure
pure.
being. Pure anything is still pure.
Still pure.
And
Man,
so
this salt is 100% salt.
where?
I need to find it.
I need to find this salt.
Oil? Lamp oil? Rope? Bombs?
Bombs?
They're yours, my friend. Only if you have enough rupees to buy them.
Bitches, money, drugs.
You want it? Too bad.
Jinzu, the king of the hose, had this and more.
King of the hose.
You want all my hose?
You want?
They're yours.
They're yours.
You just need to find them. Because you
Just
are
ask-
speechless.
Just ask Mayhem if he remembers.
I forgot.
We didn't eat them already.
If he didn't eat them already.
Delicious. Cannibalism.
So,
Women.
Oh. No. Turns out I thought you told me
Teacup.
to save your gardening collection. Here are your hoes.
I have your hose.
can you imagine somebody going on a massive quest?
May I speak to them? I don't know why, but okay.
But the hose!
Oh, is it so hard to get the hose?
And so what ends up happening is, after this whole event, FF is being called to by Anastasia of like, Anastasia going, FF, you goddamn swarm of plankton, take my energy and live. I command this of you. And she goes, haha, I pull Uno reverse card. Now I die. And so FF then dies by returning Anastasia to life.
And we see the full Joe ghost.
Yeah.
Ah, the confirmation that she died.
Yeah.
And it actually happened.
And so, very nice.
Instead of trust me, bro.
I still say it was honestly really touching the way they did it, of FF talking about how she is, like, her proof of her existence is her memories. And, like, it was just really nice
because,
the way they delivered that.
Because usually without that stuff, a swarm of plankton don't really have memories. They kind of just exist.
Yeah.
But the fact that she was able to remember and think fondly of moments
So
allowed her to realize that she was here.
So Jolene, she ends up going back to jail, reading all of Jojo's memories, and then somehow she just like skips forward like I'd say 60 minutes and ends up
Just
escaping
about
jail.
2 to 3 episodes worth.
I'd say maybe 40 minutes she skips and ends up breaking out of jail mysteriously.
Because she
and
had
it's
a
really
short
cool.
She had a spree of fighting a short-term memory loss villain in JoJo.
I don't remember that.
In
I don't remember
JoJo.
that.
In JoJo.
I don't remember that.
In JoJo.
I don't remember that.
In JoJo.
I don't remember that. Jinzu, stand up or you'll die. Jinzu, stand up or you'll die. Jinzu, stand up or you'll die.
I
Jinzu,
forgot.
you get no hose.
I play the dimension music.
I forgot. But yeah, so basically it was just.
I'm in your
Duke,
walls. I'm in your walls. I'm in your walls.
So Duke went over ahead of me in order to see like, okay, let's make sure that we have like anything else that we don't have to censor while we're watching it, because
this was the point when I watched everything else and I was like,
and then he found a part where they have to deal with a stand that gives them short-term memory loss. And JoJo is notoriously known for talking about things, bringing it up, repeating is the word that I was looking for, and I'm mad that I couldn't think of the word repeating.
By the way, the name of the stand was Mew Mew.
Mew Mew.
That's how I felt
It's
the entire
raining.
time.
It's still raining.
That's how I felt the entire time.
But I went under the awning like I was supposed to. Why didn't it stop raining?
Why is it still raining?
So they break out of jail, and they start making their way to Cape Canaveral. And as they're making their way there, they have miscellaneous adventures. Sorry, Mayhem just had his foot twisted.
I got better.
But so they have a bunch of miscellaneous adventures. Why? Because of the fact that kind of filler.
But wait, hold on. We have to mention the best filler though.
What?
That Anastasia and
I was gonna say the explanation for that real quick. I want to put this here instead of a little later when it's revealed.
Oh.
Of basically what they announce is that the new 3 enemies of the JoJos is, I'm not shitting you, the Sons of Dio.
Since it was when Dio had Jonathan's body, so they have the star marks.
All of them have the star mark.
And
Poochie
they're all
has the star.
hideous.
Yeah.
Except for Giorno.
And the only one that looks...
Poochie has a star mark. Weather Forecast has a star mark. I wonder what's up with that.
Weather report?
Yeah, Weather Report has the star. He's about to look it up.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe you.
Anyway,
Your
basically...
statements are false.
Stop scream, fucking absolute dumbass. Anyway, we get to meet the newsstand Bohemian Ecstatic, who his power is that he can basically remove characters from fiction and bring them into the real world to have you killed.
And who is he voiced by?
Who was it? Are you just saying you forgot?
The Drifter from Destiny.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Who was that?
I unfortunately don't remember his name, but yes.
Okay.
I don't remember anybody's names.
Anyway, we see Bohemian Ecstatic as he brings Pinocchio to life. He brings the 7 dwarves to life. Ice will say that was one of the funniest jokes there. Of just like, it was so unnecessary, but it made me crack up laughing. As it's just like, a lot of people thought that we did things with Snow White, but it was purely platonic.
The relationship was purely platonic. Nothing happened. She's like a sister to me. Yeah, what the hell?
I was laughing so hard when I heard that, and I just remember your face of just like, okay.
You guys didn't have to bring it up. I didn't think about that. It was a Disney movie. I don't think that really comes up in a Disney movie.
We ain't talking about the Disney movie.
I
That's
am.
even scarier. And they even mention a bunch of fun facts about Snow White. I feel like he just Googled them real quick.
Did you know that she actually didn't eat the apple? It got stuck in her throat.
Though it was still poisoned.
It didn't complete the thing it was supposed to do.
Anyway, so it's just a massive misadventures of fantasy creatures, including the fact that the one that made me laugh the most was the fact that, oh, who comes for weather report? Jinsu. What fantasy being comes for weather report? Vincent van Gogh.
Van Gogh. Van Gogh away.
Vincent
You mean
van
Van Gogh?
Vincent van Gogh pops up and says, "Oh, you must have loved me in your youth, right? And he's like, "I have no idea who you are." "Oh, of course you liked me." As he then decides, like, "Okay, then I'll chop off your ear so you can be just like me." And it's like, okay.
Again, Sean Connery for some reason.
So Weather Report ends up going up to him and going, "Okay, so you're an artist. I'm gonna make you draw me a new character whose entire purpose is to kill you people."
Is to defeat the stand user.
No, it's specifically kill every other fantasy being. And so that's all he does. Is he's just, okay, he draws the character. I made a superhero now. I feel like a mangaka. And so he goes off and kills all the others as Bohemian Ecstatic, the user, ends up having an aneurysm and just dies.
Yeah, full on angerism because of his stand being overpowered and killed.
And so,
wait, wasn't there like a anime character that like destroyed Tokyo?
yeah, it was Kentaro from Fist of North Star. It was specifically, it was him and his rival had a fight just like in the show that wiped out Tokyo. Yeah. Hey, Jinzu. Tokyo was wiped out by Kentaro, the original Jojo.
No.
Oh my god.
This will affect the group chat heavily.
This will affect the trout population heavily.
This will affect my attention span.
And so anyway, Fly Guy. Fly Guy was the one that made me laugh very hard because of how stupid it was that this guy pops up and he's just like, "Father, my eye, it won't stop closing. Please help me." And it's like, okay, hear me out.
Eye.
What if you just open your eye? Oh my god, there are flying monsters all around me. It's like, oh, okay. And also they absorb body heat. Okay, get the hell out of here. He literally, Poochie's just like, okay, get the hell out before I die.
Now leave.
And so he leaves.
Make like a bar of soap and give us the slip.
Oh. You made a reference to
Dr. Eggman. And prison.
in prison?
Don't drop the soap.
Oh no.
You dropped the soap.
It's Jojo. They definitely
Don't
dropped the
cross
soap.
the rickety bridge.
Why? Because.
Don't cross the rickety bridge.
Peter.
The rickety bridge is here.
The rickety bridge is across the way. To grandmother's house we go.
Peter, he's a pickle now.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine how Mayhem's gonna feel editing this.
Because it's just, I know what it's gonna be.
You're gonna lose it laughing.
I know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be your last day alive.
Anyway.
Did you know?
So, Sky Guy shows up on a bike, and he's wearing a cow outfit.
He's like so overconfident.
He made him crash a helicopter, because you know, JoJo's aren't allowed to fly. So
They're on a no-fly list.
They're on a no-fly list. And so what ends up happening is he's like, yes, I'll be able to fight you now. And he goes, oh shit, where are my keys? And he turns around and tries to grab the motorcycle, and it falls over, and his eye starts closing again. He's like, my eye's closing again. Oh god! He starts freaking out.
He had so much confidence to go after Jolene, but then the second any of that confidence started to fall apart, he fell apart.
And so he starts freaking out, and he goes, oh, there are my keys, and he just starts fighting Jolene.
Found my keys, now we can fight.
And then Jolene sets herself on fire because of the whole body heat thing, and they start fighting while on fire.
Okay, yes, she's on fire, but she's covered with a layer of her own
Sweat. So
Don't
thread.
care. She could be covered in shit for all I care right now. She's on fire.
She's gonna survive just the same.
So she starts fighting him while on fire, and
It's okay if she's poisoned, because Nezuko can use her blood flame.
I'll just go ahead and throw one of my stands into her mouth so that it goes to the back of her neck and kills her. And she goes, fine, then I won't breathe, and just starts beating the crap out of him. And the entire time, I just went, Mayhem, this is bullying a disabled kid.
They fully just beat him. This guy, he has a long-range stand, but the stand, he can't use it to protect himself. So what does he do?
Still he
goes to Jolene and goes, ha ha. And Jolene just goes...
And so while he's on the ground, basically dying of just like, you beat me, I can't believe it, I'm not like Apollo 11, I can't believe it. That's literally a thing he says. Because he was
Apollo 11.
I'm not Apollo 11.
Because that somehow gives them the hinge that,
Apollo 11 like me, for real, for real.
Father, I'm Apollo 11.
Turns out Father Pucci's going to the space launching place.
Dude, wait, I just had an image. I just had an image of, like, you know that meme of just, like, no, babe, you're not Apollo 11. Blocked. Literally me.
Literally me. That's one small step for man.
No, not Neil Armstrong. No, the ship.
Oh, the ship itself.
Because that's what he says. He says, who gives a shit about Neil Armstrong? I'm the Apollo 11.
One small step for man, one large step for mankind.
Oh, shit. I might have messed that up, guys. You're going to have to change the quote.
One small step for man, one giant crawl for lizard kind. Fuck.
Can we restart?
Is this a live recording? Oh, God damn it. Wipe them out.
Just nuke them.
Nuke them. God damn it.
Kill them like the rest.
It's mine. The moon is mine.
Sorry, guys. There's no heat up here. Can't use it as a heat rock.
It's really cold.
It's really cold. That sucks. This sucks balls. So anyway, Sky Guy is dying on the ground.
I like how you've been calling him Sky Guy or Wind Guy Fly Guy the entire time. Mm-hmm. He attacks with Windfish.
His stand name is Sky Guy.
But you didn't describe his power at all. That he attacks with Windfish, and the Windfish go into people's specific areas and sucks out their body heat. And there's this one moment where they finally discover that. But before they actually discover it, Emporio's there, and he just suddenly screams out,
hey,
I'm peeing blood!
Hey, you misinterpreted it. No, it was all three of them screaming of, my leg is broken, my thing is broken, my pee is filled with blood.
And it's just, it was so off, like, it felt so off topic that you just went,
go see a doctor, goddammit.
Okay. To the doctor. And anyway, after they defeat him, they end up going to a hospital.
They start, before they head to the hospital, you got Sky Guy going, I've been beat, I'm not Apollo 11, for real, for real. No, but instead, Weather Report is the priest's brother.
Ooh.
He's his fraternal twin.
He's
They look nothing.
twin.
That means they look nothing alike.
So they head to the hospital, because that's where Poochie is, and also where the last stand user is, by the name of Netherworld. And so they head on down
and start playing Minecraft.
The way that Netherworld works is that basically you can dig up memories. Usually memories of the dead.
Talk about digging up the past. Am I right?
That's literally what his power is. God damn it, man. But he goes over and digs up, I'm shitting you not, a plane crash.
So there's a plane that's like flying.
There's a plane under the ground,
but it's
under
like,
the hospital.
But it's like in mid-flight, but it's not actually moving anywhere. It's really weird.
And I'm gonna skip a lot of the filler of it. Of basically, they find out a way to go ahead and survive by calling Emporio, and after finding the way to survive, they head over to the seats that will allow them to survive. And they throw the people out, like, get the fuck out here, and end up trying to sit down, but a bunch of kids start falling into the seat, and it's like, what the hell is this? And Netherworld is just throwing kids into the seats.
Yeah, it's just, you wouldn't sacrifice kids, would you, Jolene?
And so...
Joke's on you.
I've murdered worse.
Joke's on you, I'm gonna shove this kid in an old man.
Because if they survive the crash, then that means that no harm can befall them.
They literally put... so, Aramis and one of the kids fuse themselves into the survivors, while the other two of the kids end up being in the seats that survive, while the last thing is Jolene turning herself into string and going inside of Hermes.
Yes.
So much fan art from what I just said can be made.
Hermes?
Hermes ends up going ahead and killing the Jabberwocky, and then she freed Narnia.
That doesn't happen, ever.
She
Narnia
did.
never gets free.
So, anyway, God.
There is a lot.
So
There's a lot.
The one other thing that I skipped was like the backstory of like the dude earlier, Sky Guy, because it didn't matter. It was just he was sad because he couldn't open his eye.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the last guy, Netherworld. Okay, Jinsu, I'm not kidding when I say this. Netherworld's user, his backstory is holes.
You're kidding.
Holes.
I'm not kidding.
The Disney movie Holes, made after the book with Shia LaBeouf.
Shoes were thrown from the roof as he took them, thinking that they were really nice, and then cops pulled over, took him to court, and he was taken to jail.
To Green
as a
Dolphin
kid.
Jail?
No, not Green Dolphin Jail, just a random basically institution for troubled youth. And but this is the dark ending of Holes, where he doesn't get to leave, he doesn't meet Zero, and ends up becoming very, very crippled.
Severely.
And ends up becoming...
Shia LaBeouf.
He finds out the reason for all his bad luck. He becomes Shia LaBeouf, and so slaying the Jabberwocky.
No, instead of becoming Shia LaBeouf, he becomes Shia LaBeouf.
Boof.
He's LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeoufy.
Shia LaBeouf.
It is Laia Shabouf. And,
Has the boof.
it's Laia Shabouf, and so what ends up happening is he realizes all these years later the reason why he's so troubled is because Dio was literally his dad, and so that's why he's troubled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after
these stand users, they're literally the children of Dio.
like
Dio?
Dio himself, yes. They are the sons of Dio.
Dio.
Like biological sons of Dio. You know, like Giorno.
When he was a Brando and before he
No.
was a Joester?
No, he's a toaster.
They're normal
It's like
sons.
toaster.
Apparently, Giorno was not his only son.
No.
You think Dio wouldn't get around?
You think Dio didn't fuck 30 women?
And decided,
Maybe I won't eat all of them.
even though they are delicious.
Even though I'm gay.
Oh, speaking of gay,
No one
get
can
to that in a
describe
sec.
my personal preference.
We'll get to him being the boyfriend of Poochie in just a second because
I mean, in a second. That's been the whole plot.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and describe that. We've had a lot of flashbacks when it came to Poochie. The first flashback with Dio was like them drinking wine and like sitting seductively of like, yes, so heaven, right? And then the second flashback was, I kid you not, it was like a girl slumber party where Dio had his legs kicked up while reading his diary, just talking to Poochie of like, you'd never betray me, right?
You know, Jonathan was my first love.
You'd never betray me, right? And Poochie's like,
friends,
no, of course, I love you as if I love God. And he then goes,
My
thank
name
you so
means
much for
God,
that,
you know?
my friend. Puts his hand to his head. Take my bone.
You know, like pulls out a nondescript bone from his forehead. Wait, no, it was from his hand.
Yeah.
Making no sense.
He's a vampire.
And
That
so,
too. He has excess amounts of bones.
You couldn't tell from his mask.
It's like
they were
sharks.
children.
It's like sharks.
Rows of teeth.
Rows of bones.
It's like lizards.
Bones for days.
You remember that terminal montage animation with like Mega Sharpedo where he's just shooting out the teeth?
Yeah, with just the sheer amount of teeth.
Well, what ends up happening is, like, he has this whole flashback where it was like, now, if you just follow my instructions and make sure to follow to the T, then you'll be able to reach heaven. Awesome, okay. Flashback to the present, and after right before the crash happened with the plane, Netherworld, the user, was all pissed off at Poochie because he's like, "Oh, you're just like that woman that threw me in jail," like all pissed off, just being emo.
You think that you're a sole arbiter of truth?
He literally says like, "You think you're so great? Fuck you."
Fuck you.
Fuck you, you fucking dick.
Always naysaying everything I create.
So what ends up happening is he's so mad that he ends up reading the dirt and finds the disc of Weather Report's memories.
He finds it and then just goes, haha, I'm going to give this to Weather Report.
And after the crash happens and Jolene and all of them are alive, he goes, haha, my ultimate plan, I will live this. And he sends out his stand to go put the disc in Weather Report's head, which awakens Weather Report and causes him to make rainbows.
He learned that he was gay all along.
And you know what happens when people touch these rainbows? They turn into snails.
So what is Weather Report's ability?
LSD. Because if you believe that you're a snail enough, your body will turn you into a snail.
I'll say that right now. That's actually a description they give a little later on, that the only person that was able to live the first time he used this ability was a blind woman.
Because she didn't see anything. So therefore she didn't see herself as a snail, so she didn't turn into a snail. She was immune to tripping balls.
Yeah.
She's blind.
Because she's blind.
Because she's blind.
So Father Pucci, in order to avoid
heavy
it,
forecast is the ability.
So Father Pucci literally just takes out his ability to see.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. I gotta mention, because right before that we get, like, everybody's turning to snails except for Weather Report and Anasui, because they're making their way to Pucci, while you've got Jolene, Emporio, and Hermes having an encounter with Netherworld as he's trying to find heaven as well. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna get heaven first. Gets clocked out by Jolene.
He goes after Emporio because Emporio has Jojo's memories that can tell you, that gives the directions of how to get over heaven.
And so tries to get it, fails, turns into snail as well, and they start making their way to Weather Report and Anasui. As they're making their way, we get to finally hear the backstory of Pucci and Weather Report.
Which is Southern Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
What?
Separated at birth.
They were separated at birth by a mother who was grieving because her child had died after being delivered.
So she stole Weather Report and replaced him with the kid that died. So Father Pucci thought his brother died.
Years down the line, what ends up happening is Pucci, he went off to be a pastor, and as he was learning to be a priest, a woman then came forward and confessed her sin that she had switched a baby at birth, and that the baby in question was of the family Pucci. And so...
And, like, said his name, that it was Weather.
Like, said his name
Wes
was...
Bloomerine.
Yeah, Wes something.
He goes by Weather, for some reason.
Wes Bloomerine.
Bloomerine, okay.
Weather Report.
I mean Wes something.
Weather Report.
So, we get to hear about Wes, who actually has an encounter with the sister of Pucci, who is this just perfectly wonderful blonde-haired girl.
Pure soul.
Pure soul. She falls in love with him, and a little later on, Pucci realizes what's happening, that his biological brother has fallen in love with his biological sister.
They fall in love with each other. It's not just one way.
That cannot happen.
So obviously that's a big no-no.
So that's an affront to God.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, he's even said, this is the point when the narrator comes in and says, at this point, I would like you to ask answer the question.
Now, to you viewers,
who do you believe was the first person to sin in this situation? Was it the the father Pucci for not admitting to what had happened, that Wes was his brother?
Even though it would be more of a sin for him to break the seal of confession.
Exactly, which is more wrong, essentially. Like, it basically says, of all the people involved in this story, who was the one who committed the first sin?
Because, and then after he says that, it literally just shows Father Pucci going to a PI, private investigator,
I want you to break them up.
Break these two people up.
Yep.
And the guy goes, got it. I got
you, brother.
I gotta investigate. His father is of African American descent and his mother is white. That's bad in the South. Without even knowing that they're adopted. And not actually.
Yeah.
And so they lynch him.
Oh, they lynched Weather Report, right?
Yeah, they lynch him, and he almost dies. He's got a faint heartbeat. Dude, they full on show him getting hanged.
Yeah.
And they show the fact that the sister ends up cutting him down and believes he's dead and immediately jumps off the cliff.
Into
and
the lake
kills herself.
below and dies.
Not knowing that he still had a faint heartbeat. And Poochie is the one to later on see her body in the river, in the lake, and rush over to cry out of like just his pain of having lost his sister. And as he's crying out in pain, wishing that he could bring her back, he hears Dio say, "Well, you can't bring her back. You can let her memory live on forever," as the stand arrow pierces through him.
And at the same time, Weather Report regains consciousness, and since he's biologically related to Father
As
Poochie,
the fraternal twin.
he also acquires stand powers.
Because fuck you.
Because convenience.
And so Poochie ends up passing out from the stand arrow, while Weather Report is the one to wake up and start making his way. He basically tries to kill himself multiple times. He tries to end his own life, and every time he tries to end his own life, something causes it so that he can't. Tries to put a bullet in his head, the gun jams because there's water in it. Tries to throw himself off a cliff. Gust of wind pushes him pushes him in just the right spot to live. Tries to throw himself in the lake. A wave pushes him all the way back to land.
The waves won't let him get too far in enough for him to
No matter
drown.
what he does, he cannot die. And
what cruel fate is this?
this causes him.
He tries to date the Hello Kitty girl. The boys stop him.
And so what ends up happening is he takes out his frustration on the town itself and does the rainbow thing and starts turning everybody into snails. And
Only
Poochie,
person to survive is Father Poochie.
who ends up taking his memories and throwing him in Green Dolphin.
And that's why he's been there the whole time.
The fault belongs to Green Poochie
Yes.
for not telling his brother and sister immediately.
Yeah,
telling them.
That's basically the thing of like, because of the fact that it was a confession, he was not allowed to say it.
It was the seal of confession, but basically just like
But that wouldn't be breaking a seal of confession. That'd be like, wait.
as long if he didn't Jojo explain it and just said, "Hey, I just learned that you have a birthmark and I have a birthmark also."
No, they
that means that
didn't
we're
have a birthmark.
that we're brothers.
They didn't have a birthmark.
I didn't have it yet.
No, they got it after fusion
Oh,
with
yeah,
Green
yeah,
Baby.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But basically just not bringing up the fact that she did that the mother switched them.
Basically, any mention, it's supposed to be like, in his mind, any mention of them being related would immediately break the seal of confession.
But that's why he's in training, because he would be wrong.
Yeah, well, we're not in his situation, so
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. So what ends up happening is Weather Report, back in the present day, is decided he is going to fight Poochie,
I will kill
And-
my brother.
and upon defeating him, he wants to have
His baby.
Anasui end him. Like, that is his only wish, that he
That
can have
after he
Anasui end
kills,
him.
after he kills, he gets to fulfill his life dream that he gets killed immediately afterwards, so that people stop suffering from the rainbows.
Yeah.
Which, saying that out of context, sounds really funny.
Suffer the
Kill
rainbow.
me.
Suffer the rainbow.
Kill me, lest the rainbows punish ye all.
Whoa, rainbows upon me.
And so there's
They
this
have a
epic
really-
battle.
they have
There's
a really good fight.
Really good fight between Poochie and Weather Report. Goes really well until a car rams them.
Until a car fully hits them, and they have to, watch Weather Report die.
And the car in question was the car that Jolene and Aramis used to get there. So they've interrupted the fight just in time for Weather Report to die. And so we get to see as Poochie escapes, and Weather Report has his basically draws his last breath as they all point out, the wind is calm, the rainbows are gone.
They're gone. So that means
I
that
can see clearly now
the rain is gone.
The rainbow is gone.
So Father Poochie.
I can see clearly now, don't you?
Shut up. So what is Father Poochie to do but continue on to the coordinates that Dio has given him? And as he's going, it turns out to be the Space Center in Orlando, or Florida, Disney World. And as he's going into there, all of a sudden his stand power starts being a little bit more weird. And then all of a sudden his stand power gets so intense that while Jolene and them are driving to catch up to him, because they had to stay behind to make sure everybody doesn't die, who didn't already die, all of a sudden gravity flips completely 90 degrees at the space station.
Yeah.
Like at the space launch facility. And anywhere within like this certain radius, it's as if literally the Earth was flipped. So planes, if like a helicopter like tries to fly in after all of a sudden not hearing anything, so they send in like a military helicopter, it goes in, instantly crashes.
Enrico's Poochie's new power is gravity. Control
Gravity.
over gravity itself. And Aramis gets separated from the group. Oh, you were saying?
Oh no.
Continue your pun.
But how crazy is it that we now have a Jojo villain
Can you
where
slay the Jabberwocky?
his power isn't time, it's gravity.
No, it's still time. Just not right now.
Just not right now.
I feel this. I honestly, after seeing the whole gravity thing, I thought you'd be so mad because, like, I imagine the explanation would be how gravity, like, control over gravity, leads to control over time.
I hate that theory so much. It's so stupid. If you leave Earth and go 60 years in that direction and come back 60 years back in the same direction, you wouldn't have aged, but everybody on Earth has changed.
It's not
They totally
perfect
fucked the theory of relativity.
Then that's the thing. It's like, I hate the theory of relativity. That's what it is.
No, that's not what it is.
It's basically what it is.
The theory of relativity is if you travel through time, or if you travel through space at the speed of light, and you have to be going at the speed of light. That's the only way for it to work. Because
Which is impossible.
Yeah, but that's why it's just a theory of relativity. So like it's you move so fast that time doesn't even catch up to you, so you're just not aging. So time just can't affect you because you're moving faster than time. So you could be traveling the whole time, stay the same age, then come back, and then everyone would be aged.
And I hate that so much. It sounds so stupid.
But it makes sense because
No, it doesn't.
It does, because if we didn't have mass, because okay, so the only thing that can travel at the speed of light is light, and it's because photons are like so lacking in mass that they can actually do that. But in order for us to travel at the speed of light, we would have to turn into energy, and then do that.
Once again, it's just
And it would be a lot of energy.
It would be a lot of energy.
It's just a theory that like is absolutely impossible to actually replicate.
Albert Einstein's a bitch ass motherfucker.
What did he do?
Pissed on my wife.
God damn it! He pissed on your gravity.
He turned gravity 90 degrees. So so basically,
Based on my interdimensional light speed travel
on my near light speed system.
So we get the newsstand as it pops up, and basically what ends up happening is, so gravity being all fucky wucky.
Oh, gravity's doing fucky wucky.
Because of this, what ends up happening is Jolene has a fight with the stand that is able to just basically move any way it wants because it is the center of gravity. Therefore, doesn't matter what happens for him.
theory of relativity versus string theory.
Please, I don't want to die. But
Death battle, Einstein versus
you're fine
Newton.
because of you. I'm going to describe the worst ability that the newsstand of Poochie has. So the newsstand by the name of Sea Moon, which I thought it was kind of funny the way they did it. That Sea Moon is just like in the English, they're still able to say Sea Moon, because they just say, "Oh, well, how's it spelled?" SEA.
Like the
Shinzu.
sea moon.
They didn't have to change the band reference much because all they did was they just said sea moon, but instead of having the letter C, they just said the word sea.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the censor.
But what ends up happening is, as they're fighting, basically, Sea Moon has the ability that if it punches you, it turns your gravity inverted.
Which means that you go inside out. And Father Pucci can use that to his advantage as a
I'm
gunshot.
gonna describe this for him because I want him to be horrified. Of
Nothing can
so
horrify me.
Jolene gets punched in the arm, and you watch as her fingers go in, and then her skin rips, and her fingers go out as there's no skin on them. They're inverted, and they start wiggling.
And then there's a part where Father Pucci gets almost shot in the face, like right here. And then so he turns the gravity, like by almost hitting his eye. So he inverts his own gravity. So there's a giant, perfect, like gouge out of his body, and the bullet goes safely through and doesn't hit him. And then it comes back to normal. And you see like his teeth like starting to also be a part of it. And you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, his ability is horrifying, and the only way to fix it is to get hit a second time.
Because then he just reverses the reverse.
Yeah.
That's kind of badass.
Yeah, it's awesome, but
kinda
also
hard.
horrifying.
I'm gonna. But yeah, so they just go back and forth. But
Jolene.
just after they beat Netherworld, Emporio completed his task. What was his task? To get Jotaro's memory disk to the Speedwagon Foundation.
So right as the battle with Sea Moon is basically concluding, as Pucci says the one smart thing as he walks up to Sea Moon and just goes, "Hey dude, just punch her once." Guess what he does? He punches Jolene once in the chest, right in her heart, and then just walks away as she falls. Horizontally. She falls horizontally, and as she falls, the Poochie starts walking away as he's like, "Yeah, I'm badass. Why do I still censor? Oh god damn it!" As he starts rushing over to where she is, I'm
Why is
like,
her body
"God
gone?"
damn it! I gotta deal with this shit now." And so he gets encountered by good old Anasui, who's like, "I will protect my future wife," and he's like, "You's a bitch. I'm not gonna deal with you right now," and decides to keep looking for Jolene, who is fully just like horror movie character style, just like, "Guess who's here?"
Guess who's here?
She literally does that. She does the whole like hands over the eyes, just like, "Guess who's here?"
Guess who?
And so she runs off, and I laughed so hard. It made sense, but I laughed so hard the way they showed this off. Of the way she was able to survive is that she made a Mobius strip in her chest.
And since if you invert a Mobius strip, it's just a
Shinzu?
Mobius strip.
She made a Mobius strip out of her body.
What's that mean?
You ever seen the Mobius strip where it's that like infinity symbol, like the whole idea that like
But like it goes in
you
through each
follow it just keeps going? It's that. She did that with her body.
It technically has no other side.
And I laughed so hard when the narrator interrupted the episode to say, "Imagine if you will, follow your plane." And then once you wrap all the way around, you keep going, and like this whole description, like once you get all the way around, you realize you're on the inside now instead of the outside. This is known as the Mobius strip, named after the professor who discovered it.
Professor
Anyway, this is how Jolene saved herself.
Michael Morbius.
So anyway,
That's
This is the Michael Morbius strip.
this is the episode where Jolene morbs all over Poochie.
Basically.
And so
I can't believe Jolene made him more $1 billion.
So what ends up happening is that after he realizes that, he starts having this epic fight with her and goes, "Fine, if I can't kill you with the power of gravity, I'll kill you with, I'm not kidding, this gun I found." And he just shoots her. And it's just about to hit her, and Jotaro pops up finally and saves her.
Because he's back.
Alongside Aramis.
And Dad is back.
Guess who's back?
The guy with the strongest stand is back.
We got Poochie, who runs out and goes, fine, if I can't wait 3 days for the new moon, then I'm gonna go to where the new moon wants me to be. And so he starts floating up into a space shuttle, and goes, I will go to the location I need to be, and then I will piss on the moon. And he floats there,
and it's a very cosmic looking event. And you're just like, oh my god.
Anasui shows up like, I'm still on here, bitch. I can clock you out. Reaches out to try to punch him as you watch as his arm rips open, and a man on a horse pops out. Oh my god. Mayhem, we've wrapped all the way around.
A man jumps out of a horse.
Dude, this horse jumped out of a man. What the fuck?
This is the Mobius strip of anime.
Oh my god. Jinzu, do you remember that?
What?
In part 1 of Jojo, there was the scene where Jack the Ripper jumped out of a horse.
Yeah.
A horse just jumped out of a man.
It all comes full circle.
This is the greatest story ever told.
Did you know?
So, what ends up happening is this massive burst of light as everything flashes away, and they wake up out like 100 feet away from the space shuttle. As they're like, what the hell is going on?
What just happened?
And they start noticing the clouds are moving very fast.
The clouds are visibly moving, but not like how they usually are visibly moving, but like literally like you're going really fast.
And what ends up happening is the new ability of Enrico Pucci is that he can speed up time for non-living objects.
Yep. So if you hold a glass of a glass cup, it's fine. It's all with you. But the second you let it go, it's hit the ground before you even realize that you've let go of it. And I like how you gave that example and scared the shit out of me.
It was like, how funny would it be? Just grab his water bottle and just be like, you grab a glass bottle and you fucking throw it.
Every time you try and do the narrator voice, you just end up trying to sound like a young Sean Connery.
For that one, I was almost aiming Christopher Walken.
Walking. Hey, I'm walking.
Hey, I'm Christopher Walken here.
Fuck you, I'm walking over here.
Hey, screw you, man. I'm
So,
walking here.
we get to see what the stand looks like, which, by the way, is named Made in Heaven.
Made in heaven.
Which, yeah, no, dude, in English, what they do is it's just the word maiden for
babies.
made in heaven.
You, however,
And so they're
are
able to say it the
maidenless.
exact same way.
Made in heaven.
You're made in heavenless.
It
You're made in
seems
heaven.
you aren't
Maidenless heaven.
made in Ohio.
But yeah, we get to see Made in Heaven. And the power of this stand is basically that it's the Flash.
Yeah,
It's the Flash with reality warping powers.
reality warping and moving everything else at extreme. Like it goes from 20 seconds is an hour. I think that's what it was. It goes from that to literal days passing in the span of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It gets so crazy fast, and everybody's just trying to So Jojo being only able to stop time for like 5 seconds, that immediately gets destroyed.
Anasui ends up, after they're all on a rooftop trying to escape Made in Heaven, basically tries to ask Jotaro's permission to take his daughter's hand in marriage.
And Jojo's just like, not the time for
You're
it.
very weird, go away from me. And
Really?
I'm not social.
And so the way they escape Made in Heaven, because Made in Heaven pops up, just like, yes, I'm here to kill you all. And so they're like, I've got an idea. Here's this bullet I got. Shoots it. Emporio uses his ghost gun.
His ghost gun. We actually learn what Emporio's power is. He's able to shrink things.
Yeah, and put him into a little space.
Yeah, he has a little pocket that he can put things in.
He got a little backpack.
It's so funny.
Emporio got a little backpack that hold his stuff.
It holds his stuff.
Ghost room.
His diver down.
So, what ends up happening
Is a cat and mouse chase between them as just
they shoot themselves away.
Yeah, they keep on trying to follow the bullet. Yeah.
I gotta describe Anasui in the midair as they're being shot away of just like, okay, I've got an idea. What's gonna happen is when he goes for me, the moment he kills me, go ahead and kill him. And he turns to Emporio. Maybe if I manage to do this, then I can ask Jolene to marry me. Doesn't that sound bitchin'? I haven't died yet.
Again.
And Jolene goes, I bet you win, you marry me. Fucking do it, pussy.
You won't.
Propose then. You won't, pussy.
Pussy.
And so they just crash land, and immediately their plan is thrown into a snag as
A what?
thrown a wrench into their asshole as
Okay.
as exactly as he said. Anasui has a hole punched into his chest, and as he's basically about to die, Jojo goes, awesome, now I can go up and punch. God damn it, he used Stone Ocean to punch Anasui. He somehow grabbed Stone Ocean and used her arm to punch a hole through Anasui.
Damn.
And
So that's a
Ow.
failure. And so he's like, fine, I'll just make my way to Poochie, and turns over. And I lost my shit laughing when I saw this. Poochie threw knives at Jolene.
knives.
He threw knives at her.
Yeah.
As Jotaro gets PTSD flashbacks of, God damn it, just like Dio. And he just has to push her out of the way. And
But not
That-
in time for him to get out of the way.
well, no, he escapes that. As he pushes her out of the way, keeps trying to run, fails, and then Hermes gets killed instantly as Jotaro gets his face sliced off.
Yep.
Like, right down the eye, face sliced. And Jolene then confesses the fact that she did steal a car in the past. Don't know why you need to mention that right now, Jolene.
Not important.
That's not important. Your
Literal-
father is dead.
Days are passing. Your
And
father just died.
The first
Your
Jojo...
father died a while ago. Died a long time ago.
died just now. Just died 5 minutes ago. Just died 3 days ago.
The first main Jojo death since Jonathan.
Since Jonathan. It was
Jotaro Kujo, the protagonist of part 3, has just died.
Who's been around for 3 whole parts.
And the fucking what are they called again? Oingo Boingo. The Oingo Boingo prophecy came true.
Yo, I didn't even think about that.
Why would you say that? Oh my god.
That's insane.
Next thing to happen is Emporio begins to escape alongside Jolene as Enrico Pucci goes, oh, I missed one, and starts making his way as fast as possible to Emporio and Jolene, and they realize that they're slowing down and he's going to catch up, and so Jolene goes, you're our last hope, and you're our last hope, Luke. Goodbye. And cuts this rope.
As like they were on a dolphin and like being saved by a dolphin because
They were saved by a green dolphin.
because dolphins are cool.
Holy shit! From the green dolphin poison.
Voices.
He just leaves. He's sick of our shit. He just leaves.
So Emporio just keeps going and trying to escape Poochie, and he literally sees the universe age all the way up until the heat
sun-
death of the universe.
The sun moves so fast that it becomes a streak across the sky as everyone begins to watch as everything just...
It just keeps going.
Did you guys see fan animations of that scene?
No, I haven't, and I
Oh
want
god.
to.
Oh god.
It's pretty awesome.
I want to see fan animations of it. But, man, when it came to this scene, you just watch as the entire universe is reset to the very beginning.
To
And-
the moment that Jotaro went to go see Jolene at the prison. At the poison.
And but there's something a bit wrong about this universe. As
Why does his face look like that?
yeah, as everybody has like a different looking face, but the thing is that the world. Also, the star on his head is doing a.
It's not a hand. But, yeah, no, we get to see Jotaro. His face is all messed up. He's not right. And
But Emporio's the same. He's exactly the same.
Emporio's exactly the same. So is Poochie.
And Poochie's just like, you're of the old universe. You need to die.
You need to be gone from here because you're the only person I know that will try to stop me. And so he hunts him down, and it's this terrifying sequence as all Emporio can do is run. And
room!
He says, I know you'll go to your ghost room, so I can't wait to kill you in your ghost room. And so he keeps running. He goes, fine, then I'll, as a last hope of Jolene and Jojo, I will complete my mission, essentially. And so he gets punched in the face by Maid in Heaven, and that manages to do it as he forgot to mention this earlier, Weather Report and his dying breath essentially managed to get his disc out.
Yeah, he ejected his stand
His
disc.
stand disc.
And
so
Emporio has been holding on that shit for the entire time.
Emporio then takes the disc, puts in his head, and now has the combined power of Weather Report.
And is able to...
And who? Combined power of Weather Report?
Himself.
Oh, okay.
And I was thinking, like, oh man, imagine if he also had the power of Stone Ocean too. That'd be awesome. But then, no, he didn't.
And so what ends up happening is we manage to get this epic final conclusion to their battle as he goes, well, the one thing that I realized could stop you is if I just poison you with the one thing that gives us life, oxygen. As he fills the room with pure oxygen. And he begins to weaken Poochie to the point where Weather Report Stand himself, goes in and just begins to crush Poochie's head, killing him, and then the pool of blood around them begins to swirl around as it goes down, and the universe is reset one more time.
Again. It is reset again.
After being reset, we've got Emporio on the side of the street. You can see Green Dolphin just in the distance as he begins walking away, and he hears a commotion as a bus stop. Somebody is being kicked off the bus for not having money, and the person to leave the bus is Aramis. She pops over and asks him for money. He has no answer because he's just in shock.
My friend
The bus leaves, rain starts to fall, and Anastasia is there. All of them by different names.
Yeah, they have like weird different names.
Anastasia pops up, and he is standing there just like, hey, if you give me the money that you had, the 50 that you wanted him to break, then I'll help you guys drive on to wherever you need to be.
And then Jolene comes out in the back seat, and it's just like, hey, that's just a kid over there. Hey, kid, what are you doing?
Actually, her name's Irene.
It's Irene now, yes.
And she walks up just trying to care for the kid. As
we're about to go meet my old man. You want to come?
And he's like,
if we're lucky... Oh. If we're lucky, he'll let us get married. And you were about to say? What is important?
Emporio's like...
Because his friends, and they actually look pretty normal.
He begins to break down into tears. He even sees, to confirm that this is his friends, he sees Jolene's star.
It's still a star, yeah.
And so he begins to cry as he just says, my name's Emporio. That's my name. And they begin to drive off. And as this is happening, you hear the outro that's been playing for this entire season play a little bit, as it's just this nice send-off to the season. And as they're driving off into the distance, the outro cuts off as you hear a certain song. You hear a certain guitar start to play as they see Weather Report in the distance, or whoever Weather Report is in this world. And then the original outro to Jojo plays.
Roundabout. That place.
Oh,
with the to be continued
Roundabout
arrow.
plays at the very end.
Full circle.
Yes. Jason,
And
that was awesome.
it is my favorite little bit as yes, Roundabout is playing. As that's playing, you get to see a shot from every part of Jojo, as it's just all the Jojo gangs from every part And finally, part 6, and we say goodbye to this world.
To the JoJos, as we're now 3 universes ahead.
Wow. It coming full circle is really something. I can't wait for the next part where circles is the whole point of the story.
What? 7? Lucky number 7?
The spin theory?
Characters, what do you think of the JoJos of this arc, and what do you think of the villains of this arc?
I really like Jolene. Jolene's a really good JoJo.
How would you rank her among your JoJos?
She's actually she's higher than her part.
Okay. Well, no, consider, does that mean she's like number 2, number 3?
She's higher. I like her more.
Oh no, you're now thinking of it, yeah.
I think my favorite JoJo is young Joseph is my favorite.
Yeah.
Because he's hilarious. Then it's Jolene. Then,
Nice.
Then Jotaro.
Then Jotaro. Good. What do you think, Jinsu?
Where's Jolene?
How would you rank your JoJos?
For me, it's Giorno, and then Jotaro and Josuke are tied for second. And then Joseph, and then finally Jolene.
And Jolene.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah. So Jonathan's at the bottom.
Jonathan's always at the bottom.
Jonathan doesn't have enough to be anywhere.
Yeah.
But
It's
if
like
I
his part.
if I could rank him somewhere, he's ranked 0. 'Cause
Honorary.
He's secretly the best one.
I would probably say for my tier list of JoJos, it would end up being like Jolene would be 2 or 3 with her dad, like as like 2 or 3, while Joseph is obviously number 1 because of just how much fun he was.
I love Joseph.
And-
Joseph Joestar is one of the best. He's one of my favorite just anime protagonists.
Josuke, Giorno, Jonathan.
You should watch Gintama. Same voice actor.
But now for the villain, for Father Pucci, I still have
the Jobros. You almost forgot about the Jobros.
What?
What do you think of the Jobros of this arc?
I just said.
You
Oh,
mentioned Jolene.
the team.
Joe Bros. Yeah.
This
Foo
team.
Fighters is the only good one.
Yeah, FF is still like my
Weather Report
favorite.
was cool.
Weather Report was cool. He had a cool story thing. Anastasia, don't like. Hermes.
I liked
alright.
Hermes was a Polnareff.
Was a ride or
She was
die.
funny.
Was ride or die.
Yeah, she was a Polnareff, like I said.
Emporio.
I could.
Emporio was a Koichi.
Yeah.
Like a bit of a weaker Koichi, but still a Koichi of like very, very, very important to the story. But you're kind of sitting there just like, okay, I get it. There's meant to be growth here. Where's the growth?
Do you guys know the last Ronin story of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
He's Mikey.
Yeah.
Michelangelo.
He's Mikey because everyone's
Oh my
dead, so now it's just
God.
Oh.
Oh my God, you're right, and I hate that. I hate that you're right.
But Father Pucci,
I want to see that animated, by the way.
I actually
Last Ronin. Yeah.
I actually rank Father Pucci fourth.
Fourth villain?
Fourth favorite villain. It goes Dio, then Cars, then Diavolo, and then Father Pucci.
Okay.
No favorite villain. They all suck.
Except
For Dio.
Except for Dio, but that's only because
Dio.
he shows up twice.
Well, that's the thing about Dio. When it comes to Dio, Dio is such a good villain that it's hard to rank him because of the fact that it's number 1.
I
Like
wouldn't say he's
you
a
can't.
good villain. He's definitely
He's iconic.
he's definitely an interesting antagonist.
He's a Frieza. That's the thing. You can't.
No,
rank...
what? I said he wasn't a good villain.
No, I'm saying iconic in that way.
In the iconic
Like
route.
Frieza is iconic for the fact that he's like when you think anime villain, you think of Frieza.
Well, the thing about Frieza that made him so good was that he was the anti-Goku. He was the complete opposite, absolute antithesis to Goku.
Yeah.
So he was more memorable in that way too. But Dio was just crazy. He was just megalomaniac.
The thing I like about Dio is the fact that he is just evil for evil's sake. Like there's no reason for him to be a dick. He's just a dick.
There is a reason.
He's a dick.
He hates Jonathan.
He hates Jonathan
Why does he hate Jonathan?
because he was rich and he had everything.
Because he had a good life. And Dio was like,
And Dio
I can
had
take over.
an abusive drunk father and a mother who died.
You think that would have if anything had changed, he would have been different? No, he'd still be a dick, honestly. That's the way I look at Dio. When you look at him, After all this time, he's just a monster.
After part 1, after he gave up his humanity, he very much just became, I'm gonna mess with everybody on the world.
Seriously, the fact that his entire goal is just to mess with the Joestars, that's all it is.
Well, it was a byproduct of trying to make it over heaven.
Yeah, dude, no. Making it over heaven was the byproduct. That's how I look at it. Making it over heaven was just a byproduct. Dude, if it weren't for the mask, he would have just kept messing with Jonathan his entire life. And that's all it would have been. The mask
been a slice of
made
life.
it so that he became a vampire. The stand made it so that it would lead him to heaven. Everything basically just happened to happen that would make him stronger.
To mess with the
Other than
Joestars.
that, all it is he's just a bastard for bastard's sake.
Yes. He's a glorious bastard.
He's a glorious bastard. He is evil for evil's sake. He is worse than certain other anime villains because of the fact that it's not like, I have a terrible backstory that makes it so that I'm like this. No. After the mask, he's just evil.
I can't believe him and Jojo just fuck around for multiple parts.
Yeah.
Like, they're just there because they're the ones that everybody loves.
Because everybody just went,
Well, they're the ones that made the story popular.
yes. But yeah, so...
That's the thing. Every arc has a unique JoJo, but not every arc has a unique villain because they all tie to Dio.
Because they all have to live up to the legend in this anime that is Dio.
Except for Kira. Kira's his own league of villains. Honestly, in my opinion, I think he's the best villain.
He's number 1 for you?
Yeah.
He's
he's-
last place for me.
I feel like he fulfills the role of a villain the best.
Yeah. I feel the reason I don't like Yoshikage Kira is because of the fact that he feels like he's from those types of anime that I don't like watching.
You like to enjoy your villains.
I like to enjoy my villain. Like, it's the reason why I like Dragon Ball villains so much, so often, because they're just so ridiculous that you're having fun. It's like Frieza. He's just Space Nepal, the rest. And so that's so much fun
German Napoleon.
that you're just sitting there like, this is awesome. Cell, he's that perfect... He's perfect, as I said. I was going to say he's a perfect something. He's perfect, is what he is. So that's so ridiculous.
I like Kira for the same reason I like Frieza as a villain.
You associate Kira closer to Frieza than Dio?
Yeah, because well, maybe not in character, but in terms of like
Role?
writing,
Okay.
and in terms of how their characters are used in conjunction with the protagonist. So, and like their abilities too. So like Kira's ability is to destroy everything without a trace, and Josuke's ability is if it has a trace, he can heal it. He can return it back to normal and fix it.
The way I look at it is the only reason I connect Dio and Frieza is the fact that they are of that same iconic level. Like, once again, when you think an anime villain, you usually think Frieza, Dio, Aizen, you think Blackbeard, shit like that.
Right.
That even though Don Flamingo might be a better...
You know what? Doflamingo is probably of that title.
Doflamingo's another really banger villain.
Yeah.
Doflamingo is also one of those characters where you think anime villain, you think Doflamingo.
I have a mechanism. How long do you think Part 7's going to take to come out?
Give it like 5 years.
5 years!
Well, Part 4 came out in 2016. Part 5 came out 2018.
Part 6 came out in 2020, 2021. That area.
Yeah.
2-3 years.
2021.
So it's about that. Ooh, okay.
Wait, no. Part 6 came out 2022, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it did? Okay. So a bit longer.
Wait, no. It did come out earlier. I think it was like 21.
21.
Because the only thing that slowed it down was pandemic.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
But remember, it came out in 3 chunks.
But also
And
to
it's
take
22.
to take in consideration that it's probably like the fact that they worked hard on that, how the quality of this, how good it is, and I'm pretty sure it had the right amount of views that they wanted from it to probably fast track Part 7.
I'd say, honestly...
I would say like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, 2 to 3 years. I'm hoping for 3. Because more time you give an anime, the better.
Except for when it doesn't.
So now that we know what's next, unfortunately...
actually, do you want to know what, a little bit
give me the most
ceremoniously spoil it. No, no, just tell me something about the Joestar that I'm not going to expect.
Jesus.
What?
And
And
should I say?
that should have been the end. That should have been the end.
No, let's just stick with Jesus.
Okay. No, Jesus and the wheelies.
Okay.
Jesus and the Heelys.
I'm really considering about ending it right as soon as he says it.
Perfect.
Jesus and the Return of the Zeppelis.
Ooh, I like that.
If you want to see more of our content, you can find our YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter on our linktree at linktree/greenvillains. That's linktr.ee/greenvillains.